Hey everyone, welcome to a special episode of The Arcade Hunter. Now this is normally a show that I do on my retro gaming channel, but I wanted to revisit this episode. This was the first episode actually, because this was filmed at Superstition Springs Mall, and it shows something that you don't often see at malls anymore, which is arcades and arcade games. And this episode actually kind of inspired Retail Archaeology as well, but I'll get into that more later on. Now I filmed this back in July of this year with my daughter. And the original idea was I wanted to do a show about arcade games. And you can see here there's this second run movie theater at Superstition Springs Mall, and it's just full of arcade games. And you don't usually see arcade games at malls anymore, and there were some really good ones here. You can see they've got like Arctic Thunder, and they've got a Miss Pac-Man Galaga cabinet, lots of driving games. There's a Time Crisis back there. Lots of great games. And then Superstition Springs Mall actually features an arcade called Zap Arcade. It's much smaller than the arcade this mall used to have. When I went to this mall growing up, there was a arcade called Pocket Change, and it was big. But it is kind of interesting that once again this mall does have an arcade, even if it is small. Here's some footage of my daughter playing one of her favorite arcade games, Let's Go Jungle. She's pretty much a sucker for anything that's a light gun game like this or any of these big environmental cabinets. She loves these. But yeah, once again, just stuff that you don't normally see at a mall anymore, arcade games. This was really cool, and that's why I wanted to revisit this and thought it was relevant to the subject matter of this channel, the Retail Archaeology Channel. Now, I'm sure you guys have all heard me mention before, I do have a Twitter account for this channel. It's RET_archaeology. So at ret_archaeology. And there's a link down in the description. But I would encourage any of you, if you've got any cool, old school mall or retail stuff or dead mall stuff in your area that you've taken pictures of, send those to me via Twitter. I will include those at the end of some of my episodes. Anything interesting. I was at a Taco Bell today, and it's we noticed it was all themed 90s still. It was still the 90s themed Taco Bell. So any stuff like that, take pictures of it, send it to me via Twitter. I'd love to see it. Anybody can be a retail archaeologist. Following us on Twitter is the best way to keep up on what's going on with the channel, when new videos are going to be posted, just interesting retail archaeology related stuff. So definitely follow us on Twitter. Right after filming this, I mentioned to a buddy that Superstition Springs Mall had an arcade, and I said to him, I wonder if Fiesta Mall has one. And he said to me, have you seen Fiesta Mall recently? And I said no, and I went and checked it out and saw how dead it was, and that's what inspired me to do the Retail Archaeology Channel, was seeing how sad and dead Fiesta Mall was, which you can check out that video on this channel as well. That was the first video I did. Now back to this arcade, the cool thing about seeing it here was that not only was there an arcade at the mall again, but it was busy. There was a lot of people coming in and out of here playing games.
Oh, game over.
And here's another walk through the Zap Arcade at Superstition Springs Mall. Love that Terminator Salvation arcade game. That's a fun shooter. It's difficult, but it's fun. Now that Man vs. Claw banner up there, that's a YouTube channel, and the guy that runs that YouTube channel actually owns this arcade as well. So that's pretty cool. Definitely check that out. And here's where you get your tokens. Now here's another business in the mall called Monster Bubbles, and this is a place where you rent time to run around on those big giant inflatable balls and run into each other, but they also have kind of an arcade setup, which is pretty cool. Here's a game where you win candy. Of course my daughter had to win some candy while we were here. And then they also had a Galaga Miss Pac-Man cabinet. And there's a Sparrow cup sitting there to the left on top of that candy winning machine. How mall is that, a Sparrow's cup? And I love seeing these Galaga Miss Pac-Man cabinets because those are two of my favorite old school arcade games. And it's great to see a third place at the same mall with more arcade games. And some pretty decent ones at that. This particular business, Monster Bubbles, they even had a full-size air hockey table. Now my daughter's gotten better at Galaga because we have a Galaga multicade at home now in the garage arcade, so she plays it a lot more and she's gotten much better than this. But I gotta say, she was 6 years old at the time and it's pretty cool to see her playing Galaga.
One ship left.
Not only that, but playing Galaga at a mall where I used to play Galaga when I was a kid. Here's a look at some of the other arcade games they had here. There was a House of the Dead game, which was pretty cool, a Madden NFL arcade game, which was neat, even an Area 51 cabinet. Anyways, thanks for watching this special episode of The Arcade Hunter. If you like this special episode of The Arcade Hunter, be sure to check out my retro gaming channel. And also don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And if you got some more time, here's some videos from the Retail Archaeology Channel that you can check out. And as always, thanks for watching.